We got some great cards to go over.
The Rocco Romero fight. That's a
Rocco
great
Romero,
one.
and then you got March 7th, Khabib against Tony Ferguson.
Holy shit, in Brooklyn.
Coming at you from all directions.
That's going to be
in
insane.
Brooklyn, New York. Are you doing a show that weekend in Brooklyn?
Isn't it April? It's April, right?
April?
What's the exact date?
April 7th, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's April.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's a crazy fight.
That is a horrible time I'm having
surgery.
surgery.
That's a rock'em sock'em robots fight.
223.
That's a who the fuck knows fight. You know? That's one of those fights where you're like, ooh, that's going to be a crazy one. Tony Ferguson's a bad motherfucker. And Khabib Nurmagomedov is already one of the scariest guys I've ever seen compete. Ever. Mauls people. Already. This is his first shot at the title. Just stop and think what happens if that fucking Savage gets the title. That guy smashes people. What he did to Edson Barboza was supernatural. It's like he's not even the same thing.
Brother, you said something during that fight that said it all. There was one point of the fight that you said, look at the look.
In Edson's face.
Edson's face.
Yeah.
And I've had that look, and that's when you're getting chased by 18 people. He had a look that he didn't know what to do.
He had no hope. He had no hope. He went into like a survival situation, like when you see a deer that's getting attacked by a crocodile or something. They have this like survival thing where you're just trying to survive. Obviously, a deer is not the same. That's a terrible analogy. Hold on, let me correct this. What I think is that Barboza had realized that like there's no way he's going to beat this guy on the ground. It's not even close. Like I think if he went into that fight, he probably thought he'd be able to stuff more takedowns and probably be able to get back off his feet because he was doing that with a lot of guys in camp. But once that guy gets a hold of you, there's an acceptance that certain fighters go through where they're locked down like, holy shit, like they're just drained from this animal mauling them, trying to retain their energy, trying to recharge their battery, trying to get back in it. And you got to realize that guy, Edson Barboza, is one of the best fucking kickers ever. Ever. He's one of the best kickers ever. That fucking guy is the fastest switch kick I've ever seen in my life. Outside of like professional Muay Thai, like Sanchai or Buakaw or something like that, he's got a world-class left leg kick. I mean, woo! He's fast as fuck. He couldn't keep that guy off him.
There was
That's how scary that
on
guy
his
is.
face to me where he drilled for hours. He drilled takedown defense. He drilled everything there was, but he never drilled this.
Couldn't do it.
Like there was one point where he looked, and it was like, wait a second. I've done everything I can. I even trained with the Giants, taking me down for a week.
Different animal.
I never felt this.
Different
I don't
animal.
know how he keeps you down either. His control on that side is fucking something that is...
There's certain guys that have a grappling skill that's very hard to see when you look at it. Even if you're a skillful grappler yourself, you're looking at someone, you're like, why is he able to do that to everybody? Like, what is he doing differently? Like, why is this one guy being able to do certain things that other people can't do? And there's a few of those guys out there where you watch him and you just go, Jesus. Like, what the fuck? But Khabib's the #1 guy in that category because he's never been defeated. He's had one moment of adversity in the octagon. He get clipped by a punch from Michael Johnson. I can't think of a single round he's lost. Not off the top of my head, at least. I mean, he may have lost rounds on some judges' scorecards, but he's essentially mauled every motherfucker they put in front of him. He's an animal. So this guy versus Tony, it's a phenomenal fight. Because Tony is a savage, and Tony fights very well off of his back. He is a seriously dangerous guard. You can't sleep on him. He's durable as fuck. He can knock you out. He never gets tired. And he's as game as they come. And he's a fucking champ right now. He's the interim champ. You know, when he beat Kevin Lee with a triangle, you beat a top guy like Kevin Lee with a fucking triangle, that's a big move. Tony's dangerous. Nasty Darce chokes. His Darce choke is one of the best in the sport.
Kevin Lee's great, but he wasn't ready for Tony, bro.
Kevin Lee was sick too.
Yeah,
he had
staph. That staph infection, but no,
that would unquestionably hurt him.
He wasn't. Tony is too high level. That was too. You could see in the second round.
Perhaps I would like to see that fight again. You have to say that because that's how it went down.
That's how it saw it. Yeah.
But I think that if you wanted to have them fight again, and Kevin Lee can go into that fight healthy, I think you'd see a very different fight. I don't think you would see Tony. I'm not saying that you would see Tony lose or Kevin win, but I would think you would see a Kevin Lee that could sustain his performance longer. I think being drained from staph is just
Right,
there's
yeah,
no
no,
joke. There's no if and I've had it before. It's the worst. Your body, it's not the worst, but it's not good. Your body goes into a very weakened state. You are not the same thing. You're just not. You can, if you're a real professional, you can go out there and do your job, and a lot of guys have. A lot of guys have fought and won. Luke Rockhold beat Chris Weidman on antibiotics. How about that? He was fighting off staph when he beat Chris fucking Weidman. That's how good Luke Rockhold is. Guys have done it, but that's not him at 100%. He wanted 70 or 80 or whatever the fuck it was. You know, there's no doubt about it. Staph infections and antibiotics both fuck you up. And Kevin Lee, I believe, opted to not take the antibiotics till after the fight. So he didn't want to weaken his system. But he's still weakened by the staph. Fuck. Fuck all that shit. Demetrius Johnson versus TJ Dillashaw super fight targeted for UFC 226 in co-main event. Oh, shit.
Where's 226 at?
I don't know.
July, Vegas.
Ooh. Oh, shit.
The Stipe DC fight.
Oh, shit.
That's a big card.
Let me tell you something, bro. They got some good cards coming up.
That's
McGregor's kept sleeping. Don't sleep, motherfucker. This game might run right by you and shit. These motherfucking fights are getting better and better now again.
I would love to see Steve Bay become a superstar.
Me too.
I think he deserves it, and I think you look at where that guy is right now. Like, what is more American than this guy? Like you said, with his immigrant name, what is more American than a guy who works right now as a fireman while he's the UFC heavyweight champion of the world?
Dude,
and
bro.
He's a great dude.
He's a good dude.
And broke the record. Broke the record for the most defenses.
Yeah, he's
and
a very good dude.
Beat the scariest contender we've seen in a decade.
You know, again, I watched the podcast a lot, and you had those guys on. You were talking about the Tower Jeet Kune Do. And I think that a lot of people really miss out on the main thing. And this is what you miss out with me and everybody.
I miss out with you?
No, I didn't
You
say
mean
it
other
right.
people? You mean?
Yeah, like whenever I watch these Bruce Lee fucking things and I see these kids that are 30 talking about Bruce Lee, I get sick to my stomach. Because Bruce Lee didn't bring martial arts to this country. He gave immigrants hope, bro. I was a kid. I'd just come from Cuba. The Green Hornet on Sunday nights, I would throw you out the window to watch that show when I was 5. And then they canceled them. And then he came back with the first one that's supposed to be Fist of Fury, but some argue that was a flat. That didn't do that good. That introduced him. It was the one in 71, The Chinese Connection, when I was 8.
That was a great movie.
That really put this country over. If you were... It didn't mean you were a tough guy. How many on YouTube, how many black guys are there that think they're Chinese and they got wisdom? What was the guy I used to send you videos of?
Yeah, I forget the guy's name, but there's a bunch of those
Bruce
guys.
Lee didn't make people tougher. He gave immigrants, blacks, he gave them hope. How many black dudes started dressing like Bruce Lee and doing crazy shit and
wearing kung fu outfits.
Everybody's wrong about Bruce Lee because I saw it. And I saw his death. And I saw how people would go to Chinatown because there was no internet.
Fighters still today, when they go to Seattle, they go to his grave.
I went to his grave. Took a picture and gave it to Eddie Griffin. That's why Eddie Griffin will always be indebted to me because I gave him a picture of Bruce Lee's grave and your shit.
That's hilarious.
Bruce Lee, when he died, there was no internet. They didn't report Bruce Lee's death on the news.
How did people find out about it?
You found out a week later when the Chinese newspaper hit New York. And then in Chinatown, it came out through Chinatown. When I heard about it, I was forced to go to Chinatown and get the paperwork with the pictures. No, everybody had it was an open casket in China. And the open casket was glass around him and him. Nobody believed Bruce Lee was dead. Then Enter the Dragon came out, bada bing, bada boom. Everybody made $1 million and nobody said nothing. But his death, bro, fucked people up. Like, Bruce Lee gave hope because the Vietnam War was going on and there was something else going on in this country that people don't remember that destroyed this country. You know what shot this country down?
What?
When the Beatles broke up. Jesus fucking Christ, did people lose their mind. So you always get into arguments with people. Led Zeppelin's a good band, yeah, but wait till the Beatles get back together, bitch.
Really?
Because they were always threatening you with the Beatles. Dog, I like Jethro Tull, yeah, but they're not nothing compared to the Beatles. So until John Lennon got shot, then those people had a voice. Fuck you and the Beatles, bitch.
You know what you
Bruce
would love?
Springsteen is the man.